Hello and welcome to a special Amber and Black. Just in case you're one of the fans that got locked outside the ground who didn't make the 1100 crowd that made it here at Milton Road, here's another chance to catch the pre-season friendly between Cambridge City and Cambridge United.
Right then, news fans, we're looking at the Cambridge United absolute awesome game tomorrow, which is featuring tomorrow, which would have been a few days ago by the time you see this. But what I've been searching for is the history, the real rivalry that used to exist between United and Cambridge, which isn't there so much anymore. So what I've done is I've asked around, and I've been told that this gentleman here got all the stories, was there, and you can hear it from the horse's mouth. So I've actually come just opposite City's football ground to Mr. Peter Day. Now, Peter, how far does this go back? When did you start supporting your United? Well, you come from the United end, don't you?
Yeah, I lived in Milton Road, which is just around the corner from the ground, so it was something that I was brought up with, really. So I'm 53 now, which I don't usually tell the camera.
Okay, you can edit that out,
yeah,
anyway.
Okay. So, you know, a few years ago now, I started to go along as a kid, and in the Southern League days, went really to every single United game, home and away, pretty much. And sort of grew into that until I was probably about 10, 15 years ago. I was pretty much as committed.
Was that when United was a smaller team than City at the time?
It certainly was then.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of.
Because to most of us, that we've never experienced.
Well,
that.
the very first game I went to, I actually saw Cambridge United playing Sudbury.
Right.
And Sudbury were in black and amber. I think this was an FA Cup game or something. I can't really remember now. I was a kid, and I actually thought United were losing 6-0 because that was the score. But I didn't realise they changed shirts. But yeah, so you know that was that was when I was a young boy. So yeah, we're going back to a number of years. Yeah.
Right. So was the rivalry? Were we actually in the same divisions or same leagues or at the time when this rivalry sort of come about?
Yeah, as I remember it from my main sort of early recollection, it was always the Southern League. But United were always the underdog, right. And the sort of first memories I have was that you know, it was quite an achievement for getting anywhere near the City in terms of you know, positions in the league, and there was a lot of rivalry for that, and you know, something I can tell you about on that, which was an amazing story up the City.
I mean, what did that actually get to? Did it used to get to physical confrontations between the two sets of fans? I mean,
no, not really.
Again, it's before my time arriving here, so
no, I don't recall it like that. I mean, I'm sure there were skirmishes, but it wasn't really a serious problem. The only time there was a real big problem there was when United were playing City in a return of the Counter-Professional Cup, and this was the night that Manchester United beat Benfica in the European Cup final. Okay. I can't remember the year now, but it was a long time ago, and that game was abandoned. Norman Benton, the referee, abandoned it when United scored close to the end, which would have given them a win. And the night before, they played the other game at the City and drawn 1-1. Okay. And there was a riot, and the pitch was invaded, and they had to call the game off, literally. And it was the cup was suspended for that year because of it. And that was the only time I can really recall anything very, very nasty, and that was quite difficult. And that was. I have to say, the referee at the time, Norman Benton, was known to be a Cambridge City supporter, and why he was refereeing that game, we'll never know. But that was what happened. And
as things evolved then, and as United wanted itself to get into the into the league proper, was there an infiltration of City fans? Did they switch camp at the time, and then is this where this rivalry started to cease? Did each sets of fans still stay loyal to their own respective teams?
No, I think they stayed pretty loyal. But the trouble was that you know, City had sort of suffered quite a lot and lost a lot of their support, and most of those people just wouldn't go to United. I've come across a few that did. In fact, I found one this morning, funnily enough. But it was, you know, there's an awful lot of feeling that people from the City wouldn't go to the Abbey, and But it was a reverse for United. A lot of United supporters always got the city to support the other team.
Right. And
I was one of them.
that was during, what, when United were playing away or something like that?
Yeah,
Then?
we would just go to support the other team because
Right.
we just wanted to see City get beaten.
Right.
And it was great.
That's good enough reason.
Yeah, it was what we always used to do. There was about 30 or 40 of us every game that we could when United weren't playing.
What sort of crowds was involved in them days? I mean, what sort of capacity at City? Let's say when he was playing at City's ground, because it was the bigger of the two grounds.
It was,
at the
yeah,
time,
very much so.
So what sort of capacity crowds would you get?
Well, they'd get between 2,000 and 2,500 for their sort of main average games. But when they were playing United, it would be 6,000, 7,000, 8,000. I recall one up here with 11,500. I think it was 11,600 actually.
So I mean, there were amazing days in times gone by.
Oh, definitely.
And it's how long now would you say that rivalry's gone? I mean,
Since they got in the league, really.
Yeah.
Since United went into the league, it was dead and buried because it kind of just took them into areas where there was no competition. And one game in particular that springs to mind was when there was a season when, for the first time, United had the chance to finish above City in the Southern League, but they were both mid-table. And United had finished their games and were actually 1 point ahead with a better goal average as it was in those days. But City had a game left, and it was against the bottom club Merthyr, who had already been relegated, and to be honest, they were pathetic all season. And what actually happened in this game was there was something in the region of 250, 300 United supporters up there supporting Merthyr, which was the biggest crowd I think they'd had all season anywhere.
Yeah, I think that'd be their record.
Yeah, it's true. And what actually ended up happening was that the match was total one-way traffic, with City absolutely dominating it all the way through, but they couldn't score. And then somewhere, I can't remember if it was just before or just after half-time, they scored an own goal, which put Merthyr 1-0 up, which was very exciting for us. And the game ended 1-1 with Sammy Salt scoring in the last minute or a couple of minutes from the end to equalise. Which meant that United finished above them on goal average. And so, yeah, they were both mid-table, but the whole group of us, 250, 300 supporters, were around the town that night, sort of celebrating, scarves everywhere, car horns going, because you could drive through the town then. It was just absolutely euphoric. But now these guys really ought to get their act together, because it's all about
the future.
Together.
I mean, how do you see the future? Just to tail it off then, Peter. I mean, how do you see there's been chat between the two clubs that there's possibility of joint ventures in certain areas. I mean, how do you feel about that?
Well, I really feel they should. I mean, I think the old rivalry has gone purely and simply because they're not in the same league anymore. They don't compete anymore. And for the sake of Cambridge now, they really ought to get their act together and work together. And I think it's not just about football anymore. It is a business, but also it's about the opportunity in sport that a stadium with teams working together can create for the people of Cambridge.
It's for the future, isn't
and
it?
I just think it's an exciting opportunity. And if they cock it up, I think it would be a very sad thing.
Right. So then, Peter, what prediction for tomorrow? What do you reckon?
I would think United will come back pretty fired up after being at Aldershot for all that time and probably win quite easily, actually. But I mean, I don't really have any reason to go up there now and shout anything. We will be doing some decorating around the ground and mixing the colours together, so hopefully the supporters will mix together too.
Okay, you're supplying the balloons, are
Yeah,
you?
we're going to put some balloons around the ground.
Right, black and amber ones.
Black and amber and white all together, so we've got the three colours together.
So we'll get some cream ones just to
upset them.
No, upset. Peter Day, thanks ever so much for your input there, Peter. It's been nice information for the background. There you go. The old rivalry is dead and gone, but the excitement is still there. Cambridge City versus Cambridge United, and I've managed to grab hold of Jez George. Now, Jez is the commercial manager and the youth development.
That's the one, sir.
Cool, that's posh, isn't it?
Youth development officer.
That's posh, that is, Jez, isn't it? Hey, we've got to find some work for this man. I've known him a few months, right? He's a dedicated fella, excellent commercial manager for this club here. So it's about time we got him on camera and get some information from him to see how he's doing such a good job, really.
Good man.
So what's happening for you this season then, Jez? How's it gone through the non-season? What's things looking like for City?
Not too bad, mate. Hectic time pre-season. I think everyone thinks you go away on holiday for a couple of months, but lots of commercial stuff to get going because programme adverts and boards ready for the start of the season. We've also started, we've got a new stand open over there, so we're starting an executive club which gives people the opportunity to support some of the youth players we've got, because we've got an academy set up where we've got 28 lads full-time with us at college and getting trained each day by the club. Really, really expensive. We don't get any funding for it at all. So we've come up with a scheme where they can support the club and the kids by being up here, pre-match hospitality and a few little different things in the package. And it's going quite well. So we've got the first few guests coming up today, and hopefully we'll be able to sell a bit more on top of that as well.
Well, it all helps, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. It's all money in the coffers, because at the end of the day, whether Cambridge City, Cambridge United or whoever, probably apart from Man United, everybody Niece and
Niece
Pennies.
and-
Yeah,
Niece,
exactly.
That's right, wasn't it? Just, I actually attended the fans forum you had.
Sure,
Or was
yeah.
it your annual general meeting or the fans
It
forum?
was a fans forum after the press announcement about the clubs talking. And
That's
the,
right, yeah.
and
It was an
the
exciting
shock
evening.
that followed
Keith.
that, wasn't it?
It was
Yeah.
an exciting evening. Now, it's been a few months gone by, and I think if I reflect back on it, the residual of it was that the positive that come out of it is that it seemed good to move forward and talk together.
Yeah.
I mean, has anything happened in that area, Jez, since several months back? Between the two clubs?
I think, yeah, it's ongoing, but I think what happens is whenever something gets in the press and people actually pick it up and read it and it's in black and white, they think it's happened.
Right, yeah.
And then that's why everyone got hysterical at that meeting and beforehand with the reaction where nothing had happened, all we were doing was exploring possibilities.
Which is
and
sensible stuff
exactly.
to do.
I mean, you look around this ground and we obviously make an effort to try and get this as smart as possible, but whatever you say, it's small. And if we do want to go to the next level, which is the conference, you know, they need 4,000 capacity. With all the best will in the world, we won't get it in here.
Right.
So we have to look at possibilities. And we've got, you know, it's no secret, we've got 3 or 4 companies very, very interested in buying this, you know, from us. So we've really owe it to everybody to look at the possibilities of doing that.
Right.
And I don't think, especially with, you know, with 2 clubs in the same city, maybe for years and years they haven't got on well and they haven't talked, I think that's ridiculous.
It's about time we do.
Absolutely,
really.
yeah. And I think if you sit down with people and you say, well, what do Cambridge United need? What do Cambridge City need? Can Cambridge City help Cambridge United? Can Cambridge United help Cambridge City? If that can happen and it's good for everybody, then it's got to be sensible to do that, hasn't it? That's my opinion, and I think that's where we're at the moment. The talks are ongoing. You know, we meet fairly regularly just to see where things are at, but it's a long old process, and there's planning applications and planning issues and loads of things to consider. So it's a little way down the line, but it's something that I think we've still got to aim for, because otherwise, if our long-term future's here, we can't really go further.
That's right.
And that's disappointing then.
How many more seasons do you reckon you've got here then, Jez?
Oh, difficult question, mate, that. I think if I give a number, then people say, oh, you said in 3 years' time you'll be gone. But I think that we're going to be here this year, and I think we're going to be here next year. But I think beyond that, with the reorganisation of all the leagues, and they'll come up with different criteria to be in different leagues. It may even be that to stay at the level we are at the moment, we need better facilities.
Right.
So obviously it's in our interest to work very hard in the short term to see what we can do and to see if there's any options basically to move. But you know, that's not going to happen overnight, and that's what people at that meeting I think need.
Yeah.
I think they realised that at the end of the meeting, didn't they? Because the mood.
It was just a shock, I think.
Yeah, I think so. And I think the mood of the meeting changed,
Yeah.
to be honest, because at the start everyone was anti even talking, and by the end of it people thought, well, yeah, I can see some sense in that. So,
It makes sense
and you were
going
helpful,
forward.
weren't you? Because you
Was
got
I?
up and said something positive
Did
about
I
it.
really?
Yeah, you're brilliant, mate. You're brilliant.
Well, anything to help football
Absolutely,
in the community,
mate.
isn't it? That's
Good
all
man.
it's about. That's
Good
all it's
man.
about. Okay, then, so to finish off, what about prediction for today? Go on. Go
What do
on.
you reckon?
Yeah, what's the score,
I
Jez?
reckon, well, United have been an arming camp all week, haven't they? And they've come straight back today, so they're either going to be that fit that they blow us off the park, aren't they? Or they're going to be absolutely knackered and we'll nick it.
So what do you reckon? Go on.
I think
Make a decision,
I
Jez.
think it'll be a black and amber win, but in a competitive match. There you go.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. You'll nick it.
Do you know what? My estimation of you as a smart dude, right,
Yeah.
has gone down because
Has
you're going to be slaughtered, Jez.
Do you reckon?
Excellent stuff,
Man.
Jez. All right.
Cheers,
Thanks for your time, mate. All right.
And finally, what's your match prediction for today?
4-1.
2.
Borough. No, United.
Oh, I've to edit that one out. Cheers, mate. And a match prediction for today, what do you think the score will be?
Oh, I hope Cambridge United win.
And a score?
I think the Cambridge United are going to get back 2, and Cambridge City maybe 1.
So you're going 2-1.
Yeah, 2-1.
Safe bet. And how do you see this game going today?
United.
Score?
3 or 4-0. Cambridge. United.
Okay, we finally managed to locate a City supporter here at their ground. How do you see things going today against Cambridge United?
I think United should win by nearly double figures with the fitness regime we've just been on. And City have only been back a fortnight, so that should be a good game. Normally is. So
Do you think with the obviously money in the lower leagues is pretty scarce, do you think it's a good idea that United and City maybe do move forward as one, still have the separate clubs if you like, but sort of try and move forward to being as one?
yeah, definitely. That's the only way forward for City. They can't do nothing on their own. And to a certain degree, United can't do what they want without a little bit of input from City, I think. I think it works both ways. So they both need one another. for the good of football in Cambridge.
And finally, could you put an actual scoreline on what you think today's match will be?
6-1.
2.
United.
United. Very optimistic City support.
Early.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, cheers.
Okay, so here we are, first pre-season game for Cambridge United. How do you see this one going for the boys?
Well, I'll tell you what, with all the stuff that I've been watching behind the scenes training and stuff like that over the last several weeks, well before any of the other clubs have come in for training, I'm expecting the lads to be able to last certainly the time on the pitch and put a lot of effort in. And I think really what they're going to do is get rid of all of that tiredness that's probably built up in the work they've been doing, just run that off today. And I think John Beck's just going to use a couple of different people just to find out how they fit in, really, because football-wise, I've spoken to a lot of the lads, they haven't actually played football a lot over the last few weeks. So the next couple of weeks is vital to play some football and see how it goes, I reckon.
Obviously, the fitness on the last week has been immense for the players. A lot of concerns arose last season about giving away stupid goals late in the game, which often didn't help with the relegation fight. We survived in the end, but obviously that fitness thing did lack. Do you think now John Beck's going to be able to make the players sustain, 90 minutes every single game so we don't give away silly goals?
Well, all the emphasis that's been fed back to me on the interviews that we've done for the Amber and Black programme, right from the end of the last season, John Beck and Shane Wesley, all the emphasis they've put on is on the physical fitness of the stamina of the players, and that they were concerned with that. And all of the efforts I've seen going in has been to tackle that problem. The lads are all saying that they're feeling a lot fitter, preparing, going into the season. So I don't see any reason why all of the preparation they've been doing, can't pay off. It's got to, really, because certainly they're looking a lot fitter, and the exercise and the effort they put in should produce that kind of result. Go on. Oh.
Shall I say, which of the players here do you actually recognise? Obviously, a lot of the fans confused. There don't seem to seem any familiar faces on the pitch.
Well, this is why I thought we'd have a decent crowd here today, because I was speaking to Jez George yesterday, and he was expecting sort of 600, 700, 800 yesterday. We've just interviewed him, and he's a bit more optimistic today. He's saying 1,000. I mean, looking around, Darius, what do you reckon? I mean,
I wouldn't like to put a figure on it, City, myself.
I don't know. It's difficult when you come to a ground you're not used to, but certainly, you must be looking at around 1,000, and you're just not far short of it. So, and I think that's testament to the fact that a lot of our fans don't know what our players even look like. Never mind, what the performance are like. But I've chatted to most of them personally. They're all keen, to play football, which is what it's all about. But more importantly, they're committed to this team, and they're certainly committed to the leadership of John Beck. And I think really what John's done in the last couple of months is managed to get a grip on that, to make sure that he has took control of the reins. Everybody knows where they stand, and he's given everybody equal opportunity to impress and make the mark in the team. And they've been doing that, and it looks as though the next couple of weeks is the sort of tail end of that exercise. So then we can face the new season with a solid team that John's happy with, that they're committed to that performance on the pitch, and should produce the results that we're looking for. For the next 3 weeks, talking to John this morning, he's turned around and said that they're going to be looking to play football for the next 2 or 3 weeks. Spoke to Paul Wanless as well, and what they're now turning the emphasis on is into playing actual games. But I think, a comment John said the other day at Aldershot was that footballing wise, he's very happy and confident with individual players' abilities, and so he's not been too concerned about that, because that naturally comes in, as Paul Wanless said today on an interview. you know, actual match preparedness, playing football is something that, you know, that the players automatically do. The technique and working together is something that they'll be working on for the next three weeks or so. And certainly the regime that John's laying out, the practicing and stuff, should give them enough opportunity to do that.
Okay, chance going begging there for United. A lunging tackle in there, earning a yellow card. Slow start to the game. Both teams not willing to commit forward, but City making a chance there. Got a free kick from here. What do you think they'll try and do with this one?
Well, I think the way they, I mean, I've never seen City play, but the league that they're in and the sort of level of football they play, I think with an opportunity like this, they want to try and go for a goal. Certainly, looking at the solid lads we got there, they ain't going to get through them, are they?
Game like this, everyone we've been talking to has been saying it might be a whitewash to United, but this is a real big chance for City to sort of make that impact. That there isn't a big gap between the two teams. There has seemed to be a big gap in the abilities of the two teams, but maybe chance just over the bar there. So Marshall's get us back underway here at Milton Road. At 15 minutes gone. Not many clear-cut chances for either side. But maybe as fatigue sets in the City team, John Beckwell hoping that won't set in his team. Obviously been an older shot. Training hard on their fitness, but a lot of youth players, a lot of trialists on display here. Everyone out to try and make a name for themselves. Daniel Chillingworth looks in disgust as that decision's given. He's, of course, been out with a long time last season with injury. Season before looked great. Towards the end, made a bit of a name for himself. Even got a chant in the terraces. And he's hoping to get his United career back on track. And we had a chance. Referee giving a dubious corner decision there. So City now with the first corner of the game, swinging it in from this near side. Packed Cambridge United box, waiting for the City players to come in to mark up. Marshall organising his defence. This one swung in. So swung in right in the middle, headed out well. And there's a bit of confusion there. Marshall gets his hands on it well and brings it down to the ground safely. Coach had to regroup, running upfield.
One bit of news, but a bit of exciting news there is just been out to get Dodge, my best mate who we come to football with, and he's not allowed in, and there's about 30 or 40 fans outside, absolutely packed. Can't get in, nobody, they've turned the people away now. Ground's full.
Ground's full, so sell-out crowd here at Cambridge City.
Crowd, so you're looking at around 1,000, 1,100 people.
Oh, it's brilliant news, brilliant news.
Wasn't expected, but as I said, you know, I'm not surprised United fans turning out today, especially to see the people, you know, see the players that they've not even seen yet, never mind watch play. So I'm not surprised, yeah.
Brilliant. So a lot of people outside waiting to get in.
Yeah,
we feel privileged, City. I feel privileged to be sitting here watching this one with a lot of people not being able to make it inside. Do you reckon that's the ground here at Cambridge City? Maybe views to a different ground? Are they thinking of doing that? I'm not really clued up on that.
That's what they've got to do. I mean, with the new regulations, as I understand it, from speaking with Jez, that they've got to move in. Regulations coming into their division means that they've got to improve to a certain level, and this ground can't offer the facility or the level that's needed, you know, to qualify to play in that division. So they've got to make some improvements, but this ground is, you know, you can't do anything else with it. So they've got to look to move to another ground, and this is the debate. The cost involved in building a brand new stadium for themselves, as opposed to sharing possibly a stadium, perhaps with us, for example. It's a sensible option. The cost of building their own, you know, is obviously a lot greater than sharing a ground with us. But either way, City have got no choice. They've got to, if they intend to, you know, move on with their club and progress through divisions, then they've got no choice but to develop the ground or move into a new ground. They can't develop this any further. So, you know, with an 1100 on a friendly like this, just shows you, well, you know, the restrictions they've got, really. And it's certainly not good enough in the way they're looking to improve football-wise to move up the leagues.
We've got a few youth players on display here for Cambridge United. You've got your Daniel Chillingworth and your Adam Tan. Obviously, Ricky Martin has just made the move across East Anglia to Norwich City. Dan Ashworth moved into the position this week. How do you see that one? Ricky's obviously he's started something here that's looking very good. Him and Dale Brooks working good together. I believe he spoke to Dale Brooks recently. What's the plans now for next season, getting all these youngsters through?
Well, we've got an interview with Dan on this current film, so Dan's been able to speak for himself there, but my impressions of how that's going to pan out, Dan certainly has come with a lot of credibility and respect, you know, from Peterborough to here, and he certainly is talking a good, you know, a good talk, so the confidence is there all round that, you know, he'll take on the reins and move forward with it, and certainly Ricky's, you know, no question has left everything in the best state it could be, really, for someone like Dan to walk in and carry on. So a lot of high expectations for the development of the youth. I mean, the club's always had a good recognition of that anyway, but to think that people of the calibre of Ricky and now Dan, you know, have been behind the scenes has been excellent for us. You know, we've been very fortunate, and certainly Dan is well impressed with how things are here. And he's grabbed the bull by the horns and he's flying, and he's only been here a week, so that's looking good.
Also, John Beck's been involved in getting players in. The one big shock of the summer was one player that left the club and went to arch rivals Peterborough, Mark Joseph, of course. How did you see that one on a fan's point of view? How was that sort of a Sol Campbell, Tottenham Arsenal kind of bitterness, or how was that one seen by you?
Well, it's difficult, isn't it? I mean, because if I wasn't involved personally, you know, if I wasn't a friend as such with Mark, you know, then I could stand from a distance and say, you know, oh, that's out of order, Mark, going to Borough, you know, our arch enemies, and write him off. But you know, I know a bit more of the truth and the reality of the situation than that to just make a rash decision like that. The reality is, of course, fans, you know, are not happy with the end result that he's gone to Borough.
Just to let you know, there are still some seats available at no extra charge in the new stand.
Right, that's amazing. You want to tell the people outside?
There's just a PA bloke's just told us that there's some seats available here, and City's just told us there's 40 people standing outside, so maybe they should come up and join us up here, City. It's quite a nice view.
Definitely. Did we have to pay for this, Darius?
I hope not. Put it on the expenses.
Put it on the expense account. So, I mean, as far as Jerry goes, I would say, I mean, he did an interview at Swansea, his last interview, you know, on with Amber and Black, and his emphasis was on that, you know, he was out of contract and he needed to sort his life out. Now, the deal that was put forward to him, 3 years and a testimonial, you know, was as good as the club could have got, but I since found out that even a better deal than that, you know, an improvement on the actual 3-year offer was made, you know, to entice him even further. But he made his decision. I think, you know, his personal feelings came into play. But really, you know, he's gone. I understand his reasons. And at the end of the day, we've got to play as a team. We've got to have all of our players committed to that team and the leadership of that team. And if some players, you know, recently or right at the beginning when the new manager arrived couldn't relate to that, then there's no room for them, because at the end of the day, you know, that will hinder our ability to perform as a team. So I see Mark's happy where he's gone. You know, we're united as a team here, all the players committed here. So it's the same with Richie Humphries. You know, that's developed over the last week or so. He's moved on, and again, I'd rather him be at Hartlepool and happy and committed there than half-hearted here. You know, that's the way I see it, really.
Mark Joseph had an up and down time really in the last 2 years here. When he did play, he seemed to play well wherever he was put. But yet McFarland, you know, sometimes opted not to keep him in, or injuries and so. Do you think maybe he felt he'd had his time at United? You know, he'd done what he could. He maybe felt stuck in a rut and thought that he needed to go to newer pastures to improve his own football ability.
Well, so, I mean, that sometimes is, you know, a change of scenery does help sometimes. You know, you need to start again. And I think, you know, when you're a player and you're earning your money, you know, as a player, I think, you know, what comes into play, i.e., should I go to Borough, which is Cambridge United's arch enemies. I don't think decisions like that come into play. It's just, you know, I want to go and play football, maintain the standard that I'm playing, and if a club's offering, whether it be Peterborough or, you know, or Hartlepool or whoever it may be, offers you that ability to play football at the level you're looking for, at least cover your expenditure and make a living out of it, then I think, you know, it's a serious consideration that you have to take. As far as Jerry goes, making a new move, yeah, I think, but I equally think he could have made a new start here, because it is a new start. You know, this team coming out for this season, their attitude, the training, the techniques, you know, the working together as a team, the whole way that outfits run is a new start for Cambridge United. So he could have been part of that, but he chose not to be. So you know, wish him well, and we're going to arrange an interview for when we play him against Borough. So we'll get some more inside information from Jerry as to, you know, how he's reflecting back on things, you know, and why he chose to do the way he went. You know, hopefully we'll get some sort of sensible stuff from him on that.
See Shaw Marshall in goal today here, City. There's a lot of speculation about Lionel Perez. Do you know what the latest is on him? No one really seems to know.
Oh, Darius, I think, well, I'm sorry to say they definitely do. He's staying here, absolutely no doubt. I've had many a joke with Lionel through the non-season, through the practice sessions and stuff, and with John Beck. I mean, the last programme we did, John come out clearly and said that, you know, Lionel's going nowhere, and certainly, you know, at the end of the last game of the season at Swansea, Lionel's said to us there on camera, you know, that he really wants to play for Cambridge, and the reason the speculation's there is because, you know, we are blessed to have such a you know, a goalkeeper at our club. You know, he is better than second division. You know, there's no question about that. So I think, you know, there is always going to be that seed of doubt as, oh, we're going to hang on to him. But certainly Lionel's happy to play here. He figures he figures without doubt in John Beck's plans. So, cool.
Bit of wind there, see?
Let's do that bit again.
Good job not getting out live, eh?
Excuse me. No, Lionel's, you know, I've got no reservations with regards to Lionel at all. In fact, it's old hat now, and any speculation in the beginning of the season, in the first few months of the season, is just a waste of time, really. So if we can hang on to him for another season, you know, that'll be a marvel, really. But certainly, you know, I can't see him going anywhere this season. One, he doesn't want to, and two, you know, the club's happy with him. And all the feedback I've had is positive, and every time that I've mentioned to him, you know, there's rumours about that Lionel's going here, there and everywhere, you know, all I've received back is giggles and just smirks, really. So I've grown used to that one, and I'm not even bothered asking the question anymore, Darius.
Oh, right, OK. So we got the City guarantee then. Good. Players pushing forward. They've got quite a few back, United. Maybe we'll see Dale Cockrell picking the ball up. Yes, we can here. Will he put it straight? He's tried to put it straight back in. It's picked up well by Franco Naka. That's an excellent ball by Naka. And he says he won the corner. Luke Guttridge couldn't win the corner there. United's picked up by John Challoner for City. And that's another lunging tackle. So you're looking forward to the start of the season then, City?
Do you know what, really, with involvement in all this amber and black, Darius, the season never stopped. It hasn't stopped.
Got more busy.
In fact, really, you know, it doesn't seem that long ago. He was at Swansea and, you know, experiencing the day here, and yeah, I've been involved through the non-season on a weekly basis. So, to be honest, it hasn't really stopped. There's always been something going on. So, to actually see a bit of football is nice. Yeah, to actually see football for real, that's nice. But certainly confident as I've been, and I've been following United for 24 to 25 years. You know, I'm as confident now as I can remember of facing the season. And I think it's because we've got so many unknowns that's what's making it exciting. You know, we've got so many players, you know, half the team are probably unknown to the majority of the fans, so that's what makes it, you know, the unknown quantity, isn't it?
It's often what it's about at this sort of level, isn't it? I mean, you can look at the starting lineup for last season, in our first game last season, then look at it in a month's time, and it will definitely be a very, very different, won't it?
You're probably looking at, you know, off the top of my head, you're probably going to only have sort of 5 or 6 players that are going to be at the starting lineup for the beginning of the season that you could say, you know, was on the starting lineup of last season. So, you know, when you analyse that, if you look at, you know, reflect back 10 years ago, you know, John Beck, you know, there's been a lot of chat about the players that are coming in from 3rd division and stuff like that we've picked up, and non-league players. But John Beck did prove himself 10 years ago that he had an eye, you know, for players to bring them in, and he proved success here with the club 10 years ago, you know, by doing that. And all I can imagine is that in 10 years gone by, that, you know, he's developed that ability even further and got a keener eye. So I'm not too worried about some of these players coming from, you know, like Dave Kitson from Arlesey. You know, there was some feedback I had from, I had a good mate who used to play for Arlesey a few years back, so I've got contacts over there. And the feedback I've had from these lads, you know, they rate Dave Kitson highly. And they certainly feel he could hack it here, and you know, his performance on the pitch the last few games of the season showed that he wasn't out of his depth at all. Obviously, given a bit of time to develop his skills and his fitness, there's no reason to suspect that, you know, he won't develop here and move on to better things as time goes on. So I've got solid foundation as to my optimism for the season coming up, you know, and for these non-known players. And I think, you know, rather than write them off, you know, which you know, a few fans have done, and look on the negative side, you know, look to the opposite, that these lads have been given an opportunity, and they're, you know, they're not going to sit and wait. They're going to try and give it their all, you know. And I'd rather watch lads on the pitch giving it their all than people who are overconfident and feel that their place is cosy, and they're just turning up to earn their wage. You know, that's the sort of club we've always been, really. Yeah. You know, and I prefer that. That's the sort of football I like to see.
One of those players, of course, who did get too big for his boots was Zima Abbey. Norwich City are coming back for a pre-season friendly. Zima will be returning to the club. How do you think the fans will take him coming back?
Right, that's another difficult one. You keep putting me in these corners here, Darius, don't you?
Yeah, a friend of Zima's as well. A friend of everyone, City, I hear. Friend of everyone.
But no, the Zima Abbey, I mean, you know, the media thrust and the image that really people are left with of Zima was that yes, you know, he turned his back on the club and was greedy and went on to. But the reality was, you know, he was offered that. If he hadn't been offered that, he would have stayed here and he would have done his business and things were fine, you know. But what would you do? You know, you're given that opportunity. You know, Roy was... Oh, that was close. Could have been a rebound. Roy felt that he could have done with a bit more staying here and a bit more training and a bit more, you know, education in playing this level of football and stuff. But at the end of the day, someone else decided that, you know, he was ready for it, and even better. So money speaks, doesn't it? So if I was in Zima's shoes, you know, what would I have done? I'd have done exactly the same as he's done. And, you know, same as Jerry. You know, when you get given the opportunity, you make a decision, you move on. If it's improving your career or if it's helping you feel better about life and moving on, then you've got to do it. What we're left with, you know, is the feelings about that. But you can't get away from the reality. You know, the lad was given an opportunity and he took it. And, you know, I can't blame him for that. I really can't.
Something I think the fans have to get used to, supporting a club that need to sell players. They need to nurture the players, but then sell them, obviously, for the money. And also the players, they're going to get offered a place in a Division 1 team, a big team. They're going to take those opportunities because they may only come once in a lifetime.
That's right.
So maybe, you know, the message to the fans should be, you know, sort of give them that backing they deserve, maybe.
We are, and we always have been, and unless someone comes in, you know, with a massive pot of money that gives us that ability to be independent of the situation, but we will always be a window for the rest of the country. as to, you know, of football leagues. Players come here, we nurture them, develop them. You know, we can bring them through our academy, youth development, or we'll bring players in non-league or, you know, lower division than us, and we'll develop them here, and then we'll try and profit on them. That's the nature of our business off the pitch, right? That is what we're in. There's no getting away from it. There's no point arguing, you know, over it. That's the reality. That's what we've got to face. So when opportunities come along, like Zima Abbey, to make a profit, I mean, what did we do, Darius? We got 25 grand. Well, we paid out about 25 grand, and we got 300 and something. I mean, at the end of the day, who's really going to moan at that? You know, that's the business we're in. If we can find another player to replace Zima and, you know, to help us on the pitch to survive in our division or help our team, then that's excellent. That's what we've got to do. But the priority at the end of the day is to keep the club in a position to be able to start the season playing football financially. And, you know, that is a sad fact, but it's something I've lived with for 25 years, and I really think, you know, some of perhaps the younger fans have got to come to terms with that when they look at and support Cambridge United, they are supporting a club that is bringing in players for as little as possible, developing them and maximising on the profit that goes back into the bin to make sure that we're playing football in this city for the next 5 years, 10 years, however long it is. That's the nature of the business, and what we can achieve on the pitch is a bonus, really. It really is.
Okay, so Milton Road here at half-time. It's Cambridge City 0, Cambridge United 0.
In the meantime, while we wait.
So both sides are making a few changes at half-time. We've got Terry Fleming and Colin Outside on the pitch. What do you think? How do you think they'll adapt to today's game after such a strenuous week at the barracks?
Well, I'll tell you what, Colin's impressed me. He's a very fit man. Terry's always been there and all. And, I mean, he's a wise old owl, is Terry. There's some things I saw him passing on to some of the younger lads during the week, you know, at the training grounds. You know, it's good experience. He's definitely got it. You know, he may not be, you know, your total player on the pitch, but he's certainly got wisdom. He's certainly got experience, and he does have the touches here and there that make a difference. So certainly you won't get, you know, you can't fault him for his commitment.
Of course, old warhorse Paul Wanless on the pitch now. Do you reckon he'll be able to add that bit of bite, get the players going, get them really pushing forward to get a couple of goals for these fans here today?
Well, it'd be nice for us to start off with that, wouldn't it? I think you know, the way the lads are looking now, they're definitely looking to get a win out of today. The way things were just being talked about at half-time, it looks as though they do want to get a win. It'd be good for morale, it'd be good for the fans, and it'll lead to some positive headlines. You know, I think we could do without you know, a defeat here today, because that, you know, that just feeds the unnecessaries, doesn't it? But yeah, Colin Alseed, I was going to mention about Colin Alseed. Nice lad, and again, he's been around. He didn't start football until late in life. I think he was about 23, or it could have been 25-year-old before he actually started his career in football. So a late starter in that sense. Been playing for about 5 years. 4 or 5 years, and he's played a couple of years under John Beck with that, so they obviously know each other well. Brought him in for a specific reason, and certainly very fit man, very fit, and I've been looking forward to seeing him on the pitch today. I found Alex Revel. He's a bit disappointed here today. He's still on the sidelines. He's picked up an injury. Didn't make the camp last week, but he's picked up an injury which looks like it's going to put him out until October, November, which is a real shame for a lad. But as I just said to him, you know, the positive side is that he has made a good impact, so he's definitely in the plans, you know. So at least he's not in a, you know, he's not in, you know, in a worried position. You know, he has got a secure future here, you know, with the club, He's proved himself, and so it's just a matter of him getting well and getting sorted out.
It's an amazing story for Alex Rowe, isn't it? Once a ball boy here on the sidelines, and he came on, especially towards the end of last season, leaps and bounds really. Fans really excited by the prospect of. How do you see his future panning out? Do you think once, like you say, he gets over this injury, he could be a real star of the future?
Well, he's definitely shown he's got it, hasn't he? He's always done well through the youth teams and come through well there, and you know, the few times he's come on the pitch was last year. You know, he weren't out of his depth. He was a confident lad and he's done well at Swansea in particular. So it definitely looks good, homegrown stuff, and you know, it looks as though it'll pay dividends. Just a bit disappointed for him not being able to start the season, because I'm sure he was just as much as anyone else looking forward to getting stuck in. You know, this is perhaps the first full season for him. You know, as a first team player. You know, it's just delayed the plans. But as I say, the highlight of it is that at least he is in the plans and he is in the figuring, so not too much to worry about.
Excellent stuff. It's Cambridge United really pushing forward now. Wanless picking the ball up or giving it away there. So this is the first pre-season friendly for United. Got three more, I believe.
Millwall next Saturday. Now I think that's going to be more of a football match. That's, you know, obviously we're more equal as far as abilities on the pitch. You know, okay, they've been promoting, they've invested in the team. There's a couple of players gone in, but then they've also lost Neil Harris through his illness, unfortunate illness, which we hope he gets well with that. But it'll be interesting to see. I mean, Mark McGee's going to be coming down here. We're going to get an interview with him and that for Amber and Black, so looking forward to that. But obviously he's not coming here, you know, to mess about. He's coming here to try and get his team shaped, ready to go in the First Division. So it's going to be an interesting game, and I think that's going to be more of a game for us next Saturday than today.
It's definitely going to be a tricky one for John Beck today, obviously giving a lot of new lads the chance. Do you think he may be worried that Millwall are going to come with that fighting attitude to really try and win the game rather than a pre-season run-out? So he might have to sort of maybe try out a starting lineup, which he might try at the start of the season. Do you think he may play that card?
Well, I think that would be an ideal game to do so. To be honest, Harris, I mean, I've never been a football manager. I don't really want to be a football manager, but, you know, if I look at it sensibly and from a business point of view and from an opportunities point of view and all the different angles that you can see, knowing what games we've got lined up, then that seems to me an ideal opportunity to try out, you know, what we'd consider as, you know, our first 11. Seems, you know, the best chance to get it done leading up to the season. Yeah.
Well, I can confirm, Sooty, that you were right about the 30 or 40 fans outside. I had a friend coming along today that's he's had to go home. He's had to go down the pub and watch the cricket. He's quite upset, made the journey and can't get in. So
well, even Dodge, you know, who's been, you know, we've been sidekicks for 10 years coming up United. He's turned up here at 3:15. You know, got here a bit late. He's just phoned me. I've gone to meet him out there to sort him out with his wheelchair, and they said, no, I'm sorry, we can't let him in. And just one, you know, disappointing fact, spoke to an official and they said that there isn't any facilities for disabled here at City. Now, I don't know what the regulations are for the league here. You know, I'm a bit ignorant of all of that, but I'm surprised that there isn't any, and I'm looking around the ground, I can't actually see any.
No.
Any area designated for disabled. So I'm a bit surprised about that, but outside of that, certainly City have got a good setup here. But it's something I'll have a word with Jez George to see what the regulations are and what their interest is in it, really.
The substitution there, Luke Gusseridge, who didn't figure that much towards the end of last season. Another young hopeful, did score if I remember rightly. He's been replaced by Richard Prokas, if that's the right pronunciation. What do you think of him as a future player?
Well, Luke won the. Let me get this right. Luke won the. We interviewed him on Amber and Black. What was it? It was the the Youth Player of the Year, you know, which is an accolade awarded to you from your fellow players. So that's testament to Luke's abilities and stuff. He's obviously moved now into the first team. He's training with them. He has been finding it tough. I mean, I put a comment on the website the other day, a comment he made to me, just in general chat at the training camp at Aldershot. I said to him, he was sweating there, and I said, you know, how's it going, Luke? And he said, I'll be like a rugby player soon, sir, with a big grin on his face. He's always grinning. And I turned around and said to him, well, that's good news, Luke, because you're going to need it, because Huddersfield are going to come down and try and rip your head off. And with that, he put another 10 kilos on his bar and started pumping. Yeah. You know, I mean, that's the sort of attitude you need. Yeah. But he's certainly looking forward to it. He felt a little bit out of his depth. It was a new challenge to him, but the experienced lads have brought all of the new youngsters into the team. They all feel part of it now. They're all, you know, together on as a unit, as a fellowship.
Oh, Kitson there, finding space just wide.
That's the sort of talent he's got. You know, he has got that ability to shoot from distance and on target. And you know, law of averages says that they've got to go in at some point, haven't they?
So corner for United. Swinging Wanless, the man aimed at once again. It's right at the back pace there, but the keeper comes and collects well. And Chris Tavey, player manager, coming on there. Chris Tavey getting a reaction.
What we've gathered then, Darry, is that on that reaction, if that's the player manager, I would say out of 1,000 crowd here, there's about 100 City fans. Not to be detrimental to the City fans, but you know, we love you, we really do.
Here we go, attendance.
1,069.
That's a great attendance, great shout, 1,069. Paul Wanless taking it into his own there to get rid of the ball. Chance going begging there.
Into the crowd.
Impressed me. Matty Clemens seems to impress me so far this game. Going in there once again, full-hearted for the chance for United. He's impressed me a lot, number 7, Clemens. Oh, chance for Dave Kitson there. Excellent header. He got up well for that one. Turned just wide.
Did he save it?
He saved it, yes, he got a corner out of that one.
I was feeling that we'd probably have about 600-700 crowd today, but I said, you know, that based on the fact that, you know, many of United fans haven't even seen these players, half of our team, that, you know, I wouldn't be too surprised if a fair number turn up today, and it's proven the case. You know, the fans have turned out today. They are interested to see the lads, and I think that will be a big draw. You know, the start of the season, and if it does start to produce result on the pitch, then that can only do good. But certainly the publicity we've had, the information that's gone out, you know, everybody's been kept in touch with additions to the squad and has given as much information as can be about each lad, and we've done our best on Amber and Black, and you know, other sources, Radio Cambridge and stuff. They've kept people along, so people have got the knowledge as to what's going on. They just want to see how it, you know, pans out on the pitch.
And it's in. That's an excellent goal. Excellent ball from the far side, and that was well headed. Talk us through that one, Sooty.
I missed that one, Darius.
Did you miss that one?
First goal, and I flipping miss it.
80 minutes for Cambridge United by Tony Scully.
There's your man, Tony Scully. You're talking about him earlier.
Yeah.
Hot prospect, maybe?
So now I do fancy Tony, right? And he's come here with good pedigree, and he's dead keen. We had a brilliant interview with him last programme, and John said, you know, John Beck said that he's an excellent replacement for Omar Rizza. You know, and there we go. He's shown his colours already, and I'm happy with that. What else can you say? I've watched Tony. You know, he's a good lad, committed family man, and what more can you ask for? Get a goal. Stands in good stead for the future, I'd say. We saw their exploits in the FA Cup and stuff last season, so You know, there's some quality teams coming down here. That was a good attempt. There's some quality teams coming down this season, and you know, the Huddersfields and that, you know, they've got to be fancied as candidates for promotion, you know, before the season starts, because they've got a lot of support, a lot of money behind them. Even, you know, when I've looked at it all and picked up all the information from different clubs and searching websites on all the different clubs, it is going to be more of a difficult season for us this year. You know, it's not going to be so even, I don't think. So it's in our interest to get stuck in, and certainly like a Brighton start off. I don't think there's going to be any easy game. I don't think there is this year. But I think, you know, that's why I enjoy second division football, or lower league football, you know, whether in the second, third. I've always enjoyed it, you know, because it is an uncertain game. And that's what I like. There we go.
Well, that's 1-0. United fans will be happy with that, maybe, yeah?
I'd say so. You know, I think all the lads have done their own little bit. They've performed. They've shown some of the touches that I've seen on the training grounds. And they've come here today and they've held City, who've come out as a team, as a unit. They've held them there. And, you know, I certainly saw flashes of inspiration. And I think, considering the lads have come straight out of the training camp, for those who've seen the footage just now on the Amber and Black, seeing them pumping iron at the fitness camp, that was just one day, but they were doing that every day. To actually come straight from there and to come on the pitch and perform the way they have today, you know, they must be tired. It's all credit to them. So I think, you know, everything that's been said recently in a positive light has proved, you know, there's some content in it, and to get behind the lads and look forward to a good season.
It's been a pleasure sitting with you, City. Result everyone was looking for, 1-0. So from Milton Road, it's Cambridge City 0, Cambridge United 1. Great.
Brilliant. Sign here, fans, is this, right? I've interviewed Tony, I've interviewed you once so far, Tony, and you was absolutely exhausted, sweating, in a mess then, and I've caught you again at the same time now. I'm happy with that, because it means you're giving it your all. How are you feeling about today? You got out, I mean, it's a big step, isn't it, from coming from the camp straight onto it.
Yeah, it is a big step, and we enjoyed it, you know. It's always nice to get the first pre-season game out of the way, and it's not really about results, it's just about getting the lads a good blow, and thought it was a good walkout today for the lads.
Was that a typical goal for you, Tony, the way it come about?
Well, no, not really. To be fair, the gaffer's been saying to get to the far stick, so it's just been listening to him. Maybe another day I wouldn't have got there, but listening to him, he's saying he emphasises how important it is for the wide man to get on the far stick, and it proved today that he was right, you know.
Right, yeah. And that's what we need to hear, and it's nice to hear it coming from the players. That's lovely, yeah. So how did you find it? I mean, in relation to what you've done in previous clubs with previous clubs, how have you found the pre-season here?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's been tough, especially the camp was a tough week, but we all stuck together and we got on with it, and we all enjoyed it.
Right. Yeah. So he's you next Tuesday we're at Nuneaton.
Right.
Okay,
yeah.
And Millwall, probably Millwall's going to be more of the test, if you like, as far as 11-a-side playing a game.
Yeah, well, they're obviously now they're in a higher division, so that's what we're aiming for, to get into that league. So it'll be a tough game, so we're looking forward to that.
Right, well, I'd say that you've started off as good as you could do, Tony. I was impressed, and that was nice. I've seen some of your touches on the training pitch, actually getting some of them in your corners and that. That was lovely to see.
Yeah, as I said, we enjoyed it, and looking forward to the next games and then start the season.
Right, well, for those fans there, we're putting this programme out next week. This is Tony Scully, a man to watch out for. I've seen him on the training pitch, I've seen him behind the scenes. Looking forward to the season with you, Tony. It's going to be good. All right, excellent stuff. OK, well, we've finished the game. Successful from the Hughes point of view, but it really weren't about that, Shane, today, was it? Scoring goals and who's won and who's lost?
No, of course not. I mean, it's the first pre-season game. It's you know, we try to get everybody involved, with the exception of a couple, and we've come through it injury-free, which was the most important thing. And there's lessons to learn, as there will be from every game, but it's part of our fitness, so we're very, very pleased.
I'm excited, Shane, because I've actually been privy to some of the sort of techniques and some of the things that you've been practicing at Pembroke Ground and here and there. and some of the stuff I see go off today actually is what I've seen you practicing.
No, of course, I mean...
Some of the moves that you've done,
yeah,
the crosses and stuff like that.
I think it's very, very important that we don't just fill our training days with things to do because we've got to train. You know, what we're trying to do on there, we're trying to replicate in a game, and for us to cross on the left-hand side or opposite wide man, squat the back stick was nice, but it's, you know, we've got a long, long way to go, and it's just all part of our structured programme. Right,
and all the lads, I mean, they all went through today, you swapped them about here and there. Is there anybody that's come back from the week, you know, with injuries or anything like that? Or
no, we went there with 4 or 5 players, and after the first day or so, a couple of picked up little niggles. But they've come through the week with Stu, and they've played today. So they've had no reaction from that, so that was good as well.
How are we going to just tackle the next couple of friendlies? Because we've got Nuneaton Tuesday, which again, perhaps we're going to tackle it the way we did today, like with this game. But the Millwall, perhaps, are we going to look to say, well, this is more serious?
Yeah, no, I'm sure. I mean, Millwall bring their side, so it'll be our first serious test. But once again, you know, I think they've had 5 or 6 games. It'll be our second full game for the first team. And, you know, we're looking to get fit and peaking, really, for Brighton. But for sure, it's competitive, and we want to get something out of the game.
So, good news for the Hughes fans is that things have gone to plan. I mean, from what your expectations were, what your ideas were several weeks back, or from the end of last season, really, it's all going to plan as the way you'd like it, yeah?
It's gone perfect. We're a couple of players short that we need. I think we know that. You know, we're a couple of players short that's critical for us. But regarding the players that we have and the week we've had away, it's been brilliant.
Right.
It's gone terrific.
So, when do you get your holiday then, Joe? Mind you, I did see you laying down. I did see you laying down Wednesday, actually.
Really?
Yes, I did.
Where was
I did catch on film.
Power nap. Power nap. 30 seconds.
That's what you call it, isn't it?
30-second power nap. We don't get no time for resting, I'm afraid. Yeah.
Me, I just fall asleep. He has a power nap. That's Shane. That's stuff, Shane. All right, we'll have a good one next week then. All right, look forward to it. Right then, we've just finished the City game. What's your name?
Danny.
Danny. Do you come to Cambridge games often, Danny?
Yeah.
Who's your favourite player?
Kitson.
Why?
Because he's skillful.
Right. Do you play football?
Yeah.
Who do you play for? Do you play for a team yet?
No. Full-born Falcons.
Full-born Falcons. Okay. And what position do you like to play then?
Up front.
Up front. So get them goals in the net. So how long have you been coming to Cambridge then?
I don't know.
No, it doesn't really matter, does it? You're going to come forever?
Yeah.
Good, lovely. Well, you're looking smart. Did you enjoy the game today?
Yeah.
Did you see the goal?
Yeah.
Do you think it was a good one?
Yeah.
That'll do us then, won't it?
Yeah.
Do you think we'll do all right this season?
Yeah.
That'll do for me. Shake hands there. Hey, take them balloons home.
Yep.
That's £1. Excellent stuff. Right then, news fans, we've come to the end of this special programme, a special presentation of the game at City v United. It's been around for donkey's years. It's been on again today. Hopefully we brought the best of the action to you. 1-0, deserving victory really, just about. I'd say we edged it, but City looked as though they can hold their own in their division, and we wish them success for their future. Hopefully you'll get yourself the chance to get to Nuneaton. If not, make a definite effort to get to Millwall next Saturday, a home game here at the Abbey, because I think that's going to be the real test to see how all of this effort's going to present itself on the pitch. I'm confident about it, looking forward to it, and today really we can only take more confidence from it. So hopefully you'll join us next Saturday at the Abbey for the home game against Millwall. The programme here will be back Amber and Black again for next week. We'll have the Millwall game featured on that, so for those who can't catch it, stay tuned on air. In the meantime, that's Sooty signing off. Hope you've enjoyed the programme. See you soon. Say